Now the question is, where will the believers be when the tribulation is happening, or better yet, where are they supposed to be? It says, and there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. And this symbolism is spoken of in Genesis chapter 37, and it describes the 12 tribes of Israel. So this is Israel, aka the church. And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head. Now, if you continue to read down, you will see that this person is the devil, because it says, and verse 9, and the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil. And the child that is talking about is Jesus Christ, because he came from the line of Israel. It says, and his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven and did cast them to the earth. So this is going all the way back to the old times. This is talking about when the devil led many of the other angels astray, and many of them were cast to this earth. This is talking about how the fallen angels began. The dragon stood before the woman which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as he was born. And we know that King Herod tried to kill Jesus as soon as he was born. And she brought forth a man-child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up to God and to his throne. So eventually, Israel gives birth to Jesus, and then Jesus is caught up in heaven, and then we're still waiting on his return. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she has a place prepared of God, that they should feed her there 1,260 days, and that's 3.5 years. And that 3.5 year time is how long the tribulation takes place. I know a lot of you guys have been told that it's 7 years, but it's really 3.5 years. And I'm gonna make probably another video explaining why it's 3.5 years. But that's how long we're gonna be in the wilderness. We're gonna be taken care of by God, the same way the Israelites were in the wilderness in the days of old. That's what God is gonna do again. God always does the same thing. Revelation chapter 12 verse 13. And when the dragon saw that he was cast into the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child. And to the woman was given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time, and times, and half a time, from the face of the serpent. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth. And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus Christ. So this woman, who is the church, will be in the wilderness for 3.5 years, being taken care of by God. And Psalms 91 says a similar thing. Like, I know we like to apply it to our lives a lot, but Psalms 91 is an end time psalm. Psalms 91 says, he that dwells in the secret place. Remember how it says this woman has a place prepared of her by God. The world is going to be unaware of this place. He that dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, he is my refuge and my fortress. My God, in him will I trust. Surely he will deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. Because Jesus said that there's going to be pestilence, there's going to be diseases during these end times. It says he will cover you with his feathers, and under his wings shall you trust. His truth will be your shield and buckler. It says in this place, you will not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flies by days. That means the missiles. Nor for the pestilence that walks in darkness, nor for the destruction that wastes at noonday. 1,000 will fall at your side, and 10,000 at your right hand, but it will not come near you. Only with your eyes shall you behold and see the reward of the wicked, because you have made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High, your habitation. And there, in this place, there shall no evil befall you, neither shall any plague come near your dwelling. For he shall give his angels charge over you to keep you in all your ways. He says no evil shall befall you, and that no plague will come near your dwelling, because there's going to be many plagues and many diseases during these times. And he says, I will give my angels charge over you. When the Israelites were in the wilderness in the days of old, God sent angels to protect them, and that's what he's going to do a second time around. The book of Ezekiel also speaks of us going in the wilderness in the end times again. This scripture speaks about it. This scripture also speaks about it. Pause to read these scriptures. That's where the church is going to be when the great tribulation is taking place, in the wilderness, being nourished and being cared for by God.